Good. All right. It's 9 o'clock or close enough thereof, so I will call the meeting to order. And Becky, would you do the roll?
I sure will. Jim Sheenline,
Here.
Mike Book, Tom Kitson,
Present.
Larry Mimini, Tim Bibbins.
Here.
Nancy Naylor.
Present.
Jennifer Dallas.
Here.
All right. Go around the room. Jeremy, what do you got for us? All right. Very good. Charlie, do you have anything for us this morning?
Nothing for me. Thanks.
All right. Sounds good. Mr. Whalen. All right, Paul.
Only what's on the agenda.
Okay, Reed.
Nothing for me.
All right, Thomas. Dean. Mike. Everybody's being really quiet this morning. Wow, that's amazing. Stacy, Amy?
I do really
Amy?
quick.
Amy,
I
oh,
do-
good. Amy's
Sorry.
got something.
It's gonna be quick, I hope. Just to bring you up to speed, we have decided we are probably going to move forward with a new case management system. We're hoping to do that this year. We don't have all the details worked out.
Define this year, please.
Have the contract signed this year.
This can't.
Yes,
This-
but it's not going to happen for 12 to 14,
Right.
15, 16 months, give or take.
Okay.
Right. So I just have to work out the details with the other department heads and the judges and see what we want to do. But
Where do
for-
we end up going?
we're going to go with Tyler Technologies. We think that that's the best.
Now that's on, remind us, which one, that's the one that everybody has gone to or?
This is the one that we feel is best. They currently have the statewide standardized system through e-filing. But more counties have Tyler than the other one has. And we just feel that this is the way that we need to go.
Right.
But not all the details are worked out. So we do need to talk to department heads, judges, maybe the county board about some things before we actually pull the trigger.
Progress though.
Yes,
Exciting.
yes.
Great.
It's exciting. We were also told that the grant is available. And, we can put in for it, but now that's not 100% sure that we're going to get that. So just want you guys to be aware of that.
Sure.
But that's where we're at. And we'll have some meetings here really soon with everyone.
Great. Well, that's good news.
Okay, that's all I've got. So
All right. Very good.
Thanks.
Amy. Morning, Michael.
Mike?
Is the book harvest done?
No.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I should
It's
have
okay.
asked that. I was
It's
I was hoping that the answer was going to be a yes, but. Oh, all right. We have approval of minutes from last month's meeting. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve minutes, moved by Naylor, seconded by Bibbins. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Treasurer's financial report, Paul and Reed. What do you guys got for us?
All right. So hopefully you guys had a chance to look at the financials that were on the onboard system there for you. Just a couple highlights. Cash is looking about where we had projected it to be. So the big value in agency will clear out in November. That's mainly the property tax revenue or values that'll go out to all the different governing bodies. The other thing I wanted you to look at was the revenue and expenses compared to budget. We ended the month at about a $500,000 excess, which is a good thing, but we also have a 3 pay period month here in November, which means our expenses will be slightly more than average for this, which will probably eat up a little bit of that, if not most of that. But I still am projecting that we will probably be very close to where we projected for the year ending. So we're doing pretty good there.
Awesome.
The other thing that I wanted you to look at outside of that would be other board revenues or funds. Solid waste. Looks like we'll have about $400,000 there to move here in the month of November from solid waste to capital. And the last thing would be our interfund loan between capital and the LEC. We should have about 700,000 to apply to that this year in November, which will leave about 615,000 for 25, which if all things go correctly for the end of 25, that will be gone.
And that is, number one, that's amazing, but that's way ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
Of
so
what
if
we
you
were
think
talking
about it,
about.
we're basically on a year 4 in 24. 25 will be year 5, and we had a 15-year projection to pay that back.
Yeah.
So we're paid back and we'll be able to use that for other public safety issues.
Correct. Well, that's great.
That's it. That's really the highlights of the financials.
Anything in regards to property tax collection? We were, I
Yeah, I was
had
gonna
to
go over that.
report
Yeah.
last month.
Yeah, I
and
don't
you
wanna-
got otherwise detained.
Yeah, I don't want to
And-
walk out again. So we did collect 85 million, a little over 85 million in property tax this year. We had, and again, our last distribution will go out probably mid next week. I'm waiting on DevNet to finalize some things. Otherwise, I'd be ready to go by Friday, tomorrow. So it'll probably be mid next week that last distribution will go out. We had 605 parcels go through the tax sale at the end of October. Out of a little over 28,605 were not paid. So the tax sale is a lien, and most of those went to the tax buyers. In the past, even Woodhaven has gone to our trustee where the money actually does not come in at that point. But actually the trustee really only picked up about 37 of the 605.
Hmm.
So, and of the 605, 347 were Woodhaven properties.
Right.
So
And that tracks.
that
pretty
tracks
close to-
normal. That tracks normal. Usually it's a little over 50% of our properties that go to tax sale would be Woodhaven. So that was a normal situation. All that went fantastic for those who came by, and Jeremy stopped in to watch paint dry, and it was uneventful. It was uneventful. So that went well. The team is wrapping up, getting some just closing and making sure we're all tightened down and get ready for the next year, which really starts in January, sorry.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, we'll be ready to go.
Well, the tax, as far as tax year goes,
Yeah.
not our fiscal year, so.
Correct. So, yeah, Reed and I'll be working on the fiscal year here by this month and next month. And oh, by the way, auditors, we've talked with Whipfly. They will be here probably the first full week of February. Won't be here that whole week, but will be here for a few days. They have a new system where you'll be logging into their system to if they have a question for one of the department heads or even a board member on some data, you'll get a invite to log into their own system, and you'll download their request there.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
if you have any,
Just as a reminder for the folks listening at home, maybe one or two people, but when you mentioned the $85 million that the county collected, just as a reminder, that is all of the taxing districts within the county that you're collecting
So,
money for.
correct.
That's not county money. That's school
That's-
district.
yeah.
That's
And
everything.
thank you for that, because I do want to say thanks to Tom earlier in the year when he asked the people to please respect our people, though we did have a few come in that were, I would say, less than respectful. The 85 million of that, the county's corporate value for that is really 6.7 million. So that's less than 10% when you look at that. Most of that 85 million there's almost 130 different taxing bodies in Lee County that is distributed to. So, for those listening or maybe listening later, yes, I, as the collector, will collect your full value, but we don't keep it. We distribute it to your school boards, to your city municipalities, to the fire departments, to the libraries, to the townships. You know, I could go on and on and on, but yeah, that's true.
Anybody have any questions for Paul? One thing, out of curiosity, if you guys are kind of, we plugged in the budget, interest number. Fed drops interest rates another 25 basis points. As far as what we plugged into the budget, is there any concern that we may have overstated interest revenue?
I don't think so at this point. I think interest, we took a conservative approach
Yeah.
to that.
We took a very conservative approach. I think probably from where we were at, we budgeted around 50% of what actuals were in FY24. So no, we were very conservative, knowing that there was going to be several rate reductions by the FOMC.
Yeah, potentially. We didn't know. So that's always, it always seems like budgets can be so cut and dried, but there is an art to it because,
Absolutely.
that's a variable right there that happened. We had to work on the budget and try to figure out what to plug in for that number. And we didn't know exactly. I mean, the Fed could turned around and said, nope, this looks like we need to continue tightening instead of easing, and it could have gone the other way.
And it still can. I mean,
and it still can.
When we did that in September, we were, with the information we had, we were looking at least 3 more reductions over the next 9 to 12 months. And each of those reductions, at least a quarter, 25 basis points. With the data that came out yesterday, that inflation, could be creeping just slightly up again. They may halt any more reductions. They may. They haven't said they will. And so we are at a point where, we had to be conservative. We had to look at it in the fact of, yes, they will make those cuts. If they don't, good for us. If they do, then we should be set.
We went through almost a generation of low interest rates where, that really didn't have a significant effect on anybody's budget, whether it was a home or the government budget. Now it is. It's a big deal. And, when you're talking 5% on fund money that we hold and trust, that adds up pretty fast.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. We do not have the quarterlies. Lyram's not here as far as Gridco. Nancy, do you have anything on insurance for us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I do. The insurance committee elected not to meet for the final quarterly meeting of the year due to the fact that we didn't have any new business to really discuss. And a number was in place for next year. However, Sarah has agreed to give you all a report from the Wellness Committee and their recent activities. So Sarah, thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. So just a brief update on Wellness Committee items. So Tracy Bay from the Health Department and I are the co-chairs of the Wellness Committee. Back in May, we submitted our annual report to IPBC, and our total award that we earned was $64,400. That is scheduled to deposit in our IPBC wellness account in either November or December once they complete their audit. So we will have those funds to use next year. We're working on scheduling some fall and winter lunch and learns. Some topics of interest that we got through feedback surveys were yoga and meditation, as well as financial wellness. We meet next week, so we're going to start doing some planning for organizing those. We had our first request for wellness funds from Jenny Conderman from the Lee County Health Department. She requested $200 towards their hygiene item drive that they did at the beginning of the school year, which distributed hygiene items to all Lee County schools. So the committee approved that request and donated those funds for hygiene items for Lee County schools. And then we had our biometric event October 9th and October 16th. We had a total of 156 participants. 67 participants opted for flu shots from the health department. That puts us at about 85% participation. That number is important to us as a wellness committee because if we get 75% or more participation, it puts us in the highest tier for the biggest award, wellness award. We do have other things that we have to do to meet that highest tier, but the biometrics is definitely important. So hitting that 85% mark was really important for us. So at the event, we gave out a $25 lunch gift card. Participants had the choice of Arthur's or Jersey Mike's. And then they will get, participants will get a $200 e-gift card that is emailed out to them at some point next week from Empower. We also switched it up and did something a little bit different. Tracy organized having a coffee truck present at our October 16th event. We didn't have anybody available at the October 9th, but that was well received. And the coffee truck, the business was very thankful that we invited them to come. And then our next meeting is going to be Tuesday, the 19th at 2:00 in the Lee County Health Department, their first floor conference room. So if anybody would like to join us, you're welcome to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
That's all I have.
Hey.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Sarah, thank you and the committee for a great job. This has been going on for a number of years and you guys do a remarkable job and it continues year after year. And we really appreciate what you do with that because it's working well for the county. So thank you.
Okay, we have now to the administrator report. Jeremy, do you have anything for us?
Just a couple quick things. Reminder, we have our truth and taxation at 5:30 prior to the standard Lee County Board meeting next week, next Thursday. So to anyone listening, please join if you'd like to be involved with that. Quick update, our final invoice came in for our project across the street. So that'll be wrapped up. We did come in under our budgeted amount. So that's a good thing. Even with some of the small tweaks that we had, everything still came out under what we budgeted. So we can be pretty happy about that. Other than that, again, we are looking forward to moving through next week's board meeting and putting placing our budget and levy on file and moving into the next year. So pretty excited about that. Any questions for me? Oh, Becky is chirping in my ear. And so there is a December 2nd Lee County organizational meeting. So that's for the board with any board changes, what the structure is, and so on and so forth. So we'll be sending out an email here shortly requesting if anybody's looking to make any changes within the board structure, meaning does anybody want to go for a chair, co-chair, vice versa, committee requests, things like that. And then we'll try to get all that in prior to that meeting and then we'll have discussion then. What time is that, Beck? 9:00 a.m. on the 3rd, right? On the 2nd. Okay. Any questions?
Questions
The
for
meeting is
Jeremy?
at 9. The meeting is at 9, did you say?
Nine a.m. on the
On the
2nd.
2nd. Be there or be square.
That's right.
All right. Any other questions for Jeremy? Thanks, Jeremy. Okay, we've got, we do not have an ARPA report. Is there anything you want to mention while you're here, Sarah?
Yes, so Patty and I just wanted to bring it to the committee's attention that after our last meeting and we reallocated funds, we have $18,965.59 of unobligated funds. So we need to obligate those funds to an expense or a category by way of a board action request form. So we're bringing this to your attention now so that this can be addressed in December so that the board action request form can be done. But we need to have those funds obligated to either an expense or a line item before December 31st of this year.
Okay, and you'll coordinate with Jeremy as far as as where those will be allocated
I
to.
can, yes.
Do you guys, Jim, do you guys as the board members or finance team have an idea of where you'd like that to go? I mean, there's all kinds of options that you could do there.
Right. My assumption is that we treat this the same as what we treated the other, when we rolled that into the capital, that's what we can do. Because then we can, it'll be free that we can, reallocate those dollars however
Okay.
we choose to under
Correct.
under the capital fund.
Yeah, and I'm glad these guys pointed
Unless
this
there's
out.
something that the committee wants to do.
Well, that
make
was
a recommendation to the board. So
Yeah, was there
But-
some specific project that this 18,000 could be associated to? Other than that, I was gonna suggest you guys might want to just throw that into capital so that it's not unappropriated, because if we
no,
don't.
we don't want to send a check back to the. funds.
Correct.
Right.
So that's where I would like you guys to at least.
Yep.
If you had something specific, let's make sure we have it available.
So unless there's an objection or a different idea from the committee, my recommendation to Jeremy would be to put the board action request, to put that into capital.
Okay.
Is there any objection from the committee?
No, but do we need a motion for that or can we just?
Well, I don't think you need one
That is,
today.
Not today. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need one today, but you will need it for next month when we come
Right.
with that detail. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to have this done before the end of the calendar year.
Right. Everybody okay on the committee as far as that recommendation? Okay. All right. Thank you, Sarah. So we will look forward to that board action request next month. We do not have any Josephine Meyer resolutions. Did everybody have a chance to look at the sheriff's report? As always, you know what? It's never a dull moment over at public safety, is it? In the sheriff's department, is it, Clay?
There always seems to be something going on.
And we're certainly sorry that second story is very sad. Young people that you just hate seeing those stories. Positive note is that the license plate camera continues to be a interesting addition to the repertoire. So
It was always a rarity for us to come across a stolen vehicle and for us to have recovered 3 stolen vehicles within 2 months.
that's crazy.
It's phenomenal. I think there's just more to come as far as, somebody being on the lam, running for some other crime that we'll stumble onto in the near future and make the community safer.
I'll be the first to admit I was skeptical. And of course, I'm skeptical on a lot of technological thing. I want to see it done and proven, but I'll tell you what, we're it's continually, and I really appreciate you bringing these reports to us and explain it to us, because it makes us appreciate, but anyway, good
Absolutely.
report. So anybody have anything for Clay? All right. We don't have any unfinished business. For new business, we have a resolution authorizing appellate prosecutor services. I'm assuming, Charlie, you're going to address this?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. This is an annual resolution that's done by the county board. It's also a line item within my budget that is usually around 16,000. You'll see that it's gone up through the resolution to 18,000, and that's across the state for the appellate prosecutor services that are done right now. The appellate prosecutor's office helps us out with conflict cases, helps us out with advice that we need in terms of what we need to do for responses on motion hearings, for filings and briefs, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that end up doing the appellate work for us. And if they weren't doing the appellate work, we would have to do it ourselves, which is dramatically more work for the office as well. They give us an idea of what to look for with case law if we do have motion practice that's coming up, because again, they'll be the ones that are arguing it. They know the justices that are there. They know how they are going to react to certain cases, and they give us that advice. So it's invaluable, but they've put a price tag on it. We're asking that you approve the resolution.
Okay, you have the explanation from the state's attorney. Entertain a motion moved by Kitson, seconded by Naylor. Discussion. Anything further you want to comment on, Charlie? Any questions from the committee? Hearing none, entertain motion or entertain, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Me and my tongue twisters. Okay. Item B is a board action request form, budget adjustment for the University of Illinois Extension. This is actually from me. And when we did budget last year, the extension service has, as for their budget was $100,000, our budget request, because we were cutting social services and we cut extension 10%. We had, I had, in a discussion that I had with Carla in February, was that if we looked like that we had a healthy end of year, and if we were in the position that we could restore that 10%, which is $10,000, that we would do so. I had talked with Paul and you know, looking at the year ends and it looks like that this was well within our means. So my recommendation on this board action request is to restore that $10,000 to the extension. So that's my explanation. I'll entertain a motion by Kitson, second by Naylor. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Are there others that we cut that make the same request?
Potentially, yeah, there is. The social services folks, we cut them by roughly the same amount. The only difference is that you know, those folks have, and if somebody would want to bring forward a restoration of their funds, you know, we could entertain that. My thinking on extension was that when we cut extension, we not only cut the actual dollars that are coming from our levy, but that also makes them miss their match. So it's almost a double whammy for them. And so I think it's important that if we're able to put those dollars back.
So potentially, how many others would we have that may ask for the same?
How many, Tom? There's, yeah, roughly about 10 organizations that could potentially come back
And what would that,
and ask for additional dollars.
and what would that dollar, do we know what that dollar amount would be?
It would be basically about another 10. When we,
10,000?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's a potential of 10. When we did that reduction, the extension probably took the brunt of it because the rest of them, and I'm just going to use Meals on Wheels, for example, they only asked for 4,500 as it is. So there's, you know, I think we cut $500 out of that. And there was a couple smaller charities that are usually in that $3,000 to $4,000 range. And we did cut a 10%, but again, when you add up the total, maybe potentially you're looking at another 10.
Okay, I'm okay with it.
The other thing, I just so you guys understand my reasoning is extension also it's a line item in our levy. So it's a little bit different from a strict budgetary look at it. So, and this just restores their levy to the way it was. So the social service is a little bit of a different animal. So, okay. All right. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor of the board action request signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carried. All right, we are down to executive session, and I'd entertain a motion for going into executive session in regards to 5 ILCS 120-2C2. Moved by Kitson, seconded by Dallas. Although roll call, please.
Okay, Jim Sheeline,
Aye.
Mike Book,
Aye.
Tom Kitson.
Yes.
Tim Bivens,
Yes.
Nancy Naylor,
Yes.
Jennifer Dallas.
Yes.
All right.
Jim Sheeline. Mike Book.
Aye.
Tom Kitson. Tim Bivens.
Yes.
Nancy Naylor.
Yes.
Jennifer Davis.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed?